You're watching DX Recaps, the place where we break down movies fast, clear, and spoiler-packed. Whether you missed it, forgot it, or just want a quick refresh, we've got you covered. Let's get into the story. The story begins in the year 2563, roughly 300 years after a catastrophic conflict remembered as the Fall. A cybernetics doctor named Ito is walking through the scrapyard, searching for mechanical parts that he can reuse for his medical work. While looking through the piles of junk, he finds the damaged remains of a cyborg girl. After checking her body, Ito realizes that her brain is still alive, so he takes her back to his clinic. With the assistance of his nurse helper, he gives the girl a completely new body. The following morning, the cyborg girl wakes up inside a cozy bedroom designed for a young girl. When she sees her reflection, she is amazed at how perfectly her restored body works. She gets dressed and walks downstairs, where Ito is busy helping other cyborg patients. Ito is relieved to see her awake and offers her some food, but she can't remember how to eat a simple fruit. That's when Ito confirms that she has no memories of her past, and he also hasn't found any identity records about her. Later, the girl steps outside and experiences Iron City for the first time. The streets show a tough, poor lifestyle. When she looks up, she notices a floating city in the sky, Salem, the last surviving sky metropolis where the elite population lives. After the fall, most humans relocated to Earth, and everyone in Iron City works for Salem. Although no resident is allowed to travel up there, Ito gives the girl a name, Alita, and invites her to stay with him. Ito has errands to run, so he takes Alita along. Along the way, she watches an intense motorball match broadcasted on a giant screen and even befriends a stray dog. Soon after, she sees a printed bounty notice for a killer responsible for the deaths of 6 women. Suddenly, a large Centurion robot officer appears, and Alita instinctively steps into a combat stance. A local boy named Hugo rushes in and pulls her out of danger. Even though she returns to save the dog, Hugo warns her not to interfere with Centurions because they protect the city. Despite the brief chaos, Hugo and Alita get along quickly, until Ito arrives and takes her home. Later that night, a woman enters her apartment but is attacked by the serial killer shown on the bounty poster. At the same time, Alita wakes up from hearing noises and sees Ito returning home very late, carrying a large case and with blood on his hand. The next day, Alita helps treat a new patient and learns that jackers, criminal scavengers, steal advanced cyborg parts and sell them on the black market, which financially fuels the motorball industry. She also hears news that another murder occurred during the night, increasing her suspicions about Ito and his unexplained wrist injury. Later, Alita accidentally meets a mysterious woman named Shuren, who has a distinct mark on her forehead. Shuren takes Alita's hand, which frightens her, and she runs off. Shuren later confronts Ito, revealing that they were once married, and that he used the cyborg body they had created for their deceased daughter to rebuild Alita. Shuren wants Ito to collaborate with her again so they can build a motorball champion who could earn her a chance to reach Salem, but he rejects her, saying he doesn't want to create monsters. When she leaves, Ito sees her get into a vehicle with Vector, the powerful man in charge of the factory. Meanwhile, Alita finds Hugo playing a motorball street game with Tanji and other friends. He teaches her how to skate, and although she falls at first, she quickly learns and scores several points. Afterward, Hugo lets Alita try chocolate for the very first time, and she enjoys it. They then see a hunter-warrior named Zapan, a bounty hunter who wields a sword because firearms are forbidden in Iron City. In the following days, Alita spends mornings assisting Ito and afternoons with Hugo. One day, Hugo takes her to the top of a tall structure, where she sees a clear view of Salem. He shares his dream of going there someday and explains that Salem dumps its discarded technology into the scrapyard, meaning Alita may have originally come from the sky. That evening, Alita pretends to sleep and secretly follows Ito. She finds him stalking a cyborg woman named Nisiana down an alley and pulling out a scythe-like weapon from his case. Thinking he is the murderer, Alita tries to intervene and accidentally reveals their position, but it turns out Ito is a hunter-warrior who captures criminals for bounty rewards, and this entire setup was actually a trap prepared by a massive cyborg named Griwishka, along with Nisiana and another cyborg named Romo. Ito injures Romo, but Romo and Nisiana overpower him. Alita jumps into the fight, and shockingly, she defeats Romo with ease, as if she had always been trained for combat. Griwishka blocks Ito from helping her, but Alita then kills Nisiana without difficulty. Griwishka engages her, but Alita performs a powerful special kick, which triggers a flashback memory of herself in advanced armor on the moon, fighting in a brutal war. A woman named Gelda calls her 99. Returning to the present, Alita uses the same kick and slices off Griwishka's arm. Griwishka escapes through a hole in the ground. Ido later visits the Hunter-Warrior office to claim the bounty for Nisiana, allowing him to keep his clinic open. Alita demands answers about her memories, so Ido brings her home and explains everything. The body she received had originally been made for his daughter, Alita, who was unable to walk. A desperate patient, addicted to boosters for Motorball, killed her. After the tragedy, Shuren left, and Ido began hunting criminals. Realizing he had a talent for it, Ido reveals that Alita's brain and core are original, and her core contains an antimatter micro-reactor powerful enough to energize the entire city. This technology disappeared after the fall, meaning Alita is over 300 years old. Meanwhile, Griwishka meets with Shuren again. When Vector arrives, Griwishka's behavior changes and it is revealed that Nova, the ruler of Zalem, can hack into and speak through cyborgs. Nova orders Shuren to rebuild Griwishka and send him back to kill Alita. He even promises Shuren a chance to go to Zalem if she works for him. When Ido later checks the bounty database, he notices Griwishka's name is not listed, meaning someone powerful is protecting him. Alita says she wants to become a hunter-warrior as well, but Ido refuses. Hurt and frustrated, Alita runs away and meets Hugo, who takes her to another Motorball event. After watching the violent match, Hugo brings her backstage and explains that the champion earns a place in Zalem. They spot Shuren and Vector buying cyborg parts. The current champion is ambushed by jackers, who trap him in a ring of fire and remove his arms. Vector purchases the parts, and it is revealed that Hugo and his friends are the jackers who help with these black market deals. The next day, Hugo brings Alita outside the city to a lake. There, an ancient crashed starship lies underwater, built with technology from the United Republics of Mars, Zalem's old enemy. Alita dives in, breathing underwater without trouble, and discovers a hidden chamber protected by a force shield. Sensing a connection, she activates a control panel and disables the barrier, finding a berserker body, a highly advanced combat cyborg frame. She brings it home and begs Ido to transfer her into it, but Ido refuses, saying that berserkers were weapons of Panzerkunst, the same deadly martial art she used in her fight. He believes she deserves a normal life, not one of warfare. Ignoring his warnings, Alita registers herself as a hunter-warrior anyway. Then, with Hugo and her stray dog following, she enters a bar filled with other bounty hunters. Zapan mocks her, showing off the other dangerous fighters, including McTeague and his cyborg hounds. Alita boldly asks the entire bar to join forces and hunt Griwishka, but they laugh at her. When Zapan insults her again, Alita fights back and beats him easily. She challenges the entire bar, and a massive fight breaks out. Hugo even jumps in to support her. Eventually, Ido arrives and threatens to charge them for medical repairs if they don't stop fighting. Just as he scolds Alita, Griwishka crashes into the bar, killing a man instantly to show off his new upgrades. Griwishka asks where Alita is, and the dog tries to protect her, but Griwishka kills it. Angry and heartbroken, Alita uses the dog's blood to draw warrior marks on her face and starts fighting Griwishka. Ido wants to help her, but Hugo quickly stops him. Griwishka opens a hole in the ground so he can fight Alita in the ruins of the old world. Alita fights amazingly, but this time Griwishka's upgrades allow him to cut her leg. Griwishka tells Alita that she was created by Nova just like he was, which puts Alita in emotional shock. When Griwishka attacks again, Alita doesn't dodge in time and loses most of her body. This triggers a memory of Gelda teaching her how to fight. Gelda told her to never give up because they had to defeat Nova soon. Inspired by Gelda's words, Alita uses her only remaining arm to bounce her body, and punch Griwishka right through his eye socket. She collapses just as Ido and Hugo arrive and attack Griwishka. McTeague arrives too with his cyborg dogs, who chase Griwishka away to avenge the dead dog. Ido takes Alita's remaining parts home and repairs her using the berserker body, which adjusts to her immediately. The next morning, Alita feels stronger than ever and discovers she can produce plasma with her fingers. Later, she meets Hugo and tells him that her nanotech upgrades make her touch sensors extremely sensitive now. Hugo touches her arms and face so she can feel real human contact, and then they kiss. Meanwhile, Griwishka throws a tantrum because he lost. Nova takes control of Vector's body to scold him and remind him about the mission. When Nova leaves, Vector decides Griwishka can't be trusted anymore and meets Hugo to trick him into talking about Alita by getting him drunk. The next day, Alita finds Hugo hungover in his apartment. They talk about Hugo's dream of going to Salem. Alita offers to give him the money she gets from bounties so he can buy a ticket from Vector. Hugo doesn't want her risking her life again, but Alita says she'd do anything for him, even give him her heart. To prove it, she removes her heart from her chest. Hugo refuses and tells her that Vector wants to see her play motorball. Alita agrees only if Hugo becomes her coach, so they can go to Salem together if she wins. Zapan watches this from a distance. On the night of Alita's first big motorball match, Ido gives her extra protection and special skate feet. Alita chooses the number 99 to honor her memories. Meanwhile, Vector contacts all the other players and offers a huge reward to anyone who kills Alita during the match. Out on the streets, Hugo finds Tanji and the others stripping parts off a cyborg. Hugo announces he wants to quit the business. This causes a fight between him and Tanji. Suddenly, Zapan appears. He kills the cyborg to frame the jackers for murder, then attacks Hugo and injures him. Tanji tries to help but Zapan kills him easily with his sword. Hugo distracts Zapan with a Molotov bomb and runs, but Zapan chases him. At the stadium, Vector tells Churin that he used Hugo to bring Alita there by promising to take him to Salem. Ido realizes the motorball players are not real athletes. They are bounty hunters and hunter warriors. It's a trap. He warns Alita through her communicator, but she chooses to fight anyway. The hunters manage to land some hits, but Alita is far stronger and defeats all of them. Suddenly, she gets a call from Hugo asking for help against Zapan. Alita immediately jumps through the giant screen to escape the stadium, and the other players chase her. With more space outside, Alita quickly defeats all of them. She finds Hugo just as Zapan is about to kill him. She pushes Zapan away, but then the bounty screens announce that Hugo is wanted for murder. Hugo admits he was a jacker, but says he never killed anyone, he only took parts. Zapan reminds her of the hunter's code. Since Alita can't kill the man she loves, Zapan stabs Hugo first. A centurion arrives to take Hugo's body, so Alita picks him up and runs. In a hidden place, Hugo swears he never killed anyone and quit the job because of her. They kiss and confess their love. Churin watches from afar and is touched by their relationship. When Vector calls, she tells him she lost Alita and Hugo. Then she secretly decides to help them. Moments later, Alita comes out with only Hugo's head in her arms. The Centurion accepts this as confirmation that she completed the bounty. But Zapan notices that Churin connected Hugo's brain to Alita's core. Furious, he tries to attack Alita. But attacking another hunter breaks the rules. So the Centurion marks Zapan as a criminal. Alita uses this chance to destroy Zapan's face and take his sword. Hours later, Ido gives Hugo a new but basic cyborg body. He explains to Alita that Vector's promises about Salem were lies. The only way to reach Salem is to become champion. He knows this because he and Churin are originally from Salem. They were forced to come down when Nova saw that their daughter was imperfect. Ido even removed the Salem mark from his forehead to leave that life behind. Meanwhile, Vector confronts Churin for letting Alita escape. Churin says Alita reminded her what it means to be a doctor and a mother, and she doesn't care about Salem anymore. Vector sends a guard after her. Determined to avenge Hugo, Alita goes to the Hunter Warriors headquarters, located in the cyborg factory. Using Zapan's sword, she destroys all the Centurions and the entire bounty system before storming into Vector's office. There, she sees Vector has taken Chiron's body parts to sell later. Distracted, she doesn't notice Griwishka entering and gets injured in the hip. This triggers another flashback. During the war, Alita, Gelda, and their team tried to climb the cargo tubes to reach Salem. A serrated defense ring attacked the tube and killed the entire army, leaving only Alita and Gelda. The ring then broke the tube in half. Alita barely held on as Gelda pulled her up, reminding her the mission was to destroy Salem. Inspired again, Alita activates her healing ability and kills Griwishka in just a few moves. She then demands to speak with Nova. Nova takes over Vector's body and appears. He tells her he sees everything and threatens to kill Ido and Hugo. Furious, Alita kills Vector to silence him. At that moment, Ido calls her and says Hugo ran away because Centurions are after him. Alita rushes to find him and sees him climbing the tube to reach his dream. Alita keeps telling him that Nova is using him to get to her, but Hugo refuses to listen. Nova triggers a serrated ring, sending it down the tube. Alita dodges it, but Hugo is hit and loses most of his body. Alita jumps and catches his hand, trying to save him, but his arm starts coming apart. They express their love one last time before his arm breaks and he falls to his death. Months later, Alita becomes a motorball superstar. During a match, she raises her sword toward Zalem, promising to become champion and find Nova for her revenge. And that's a wrap on today's recap. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a plot twist. Got a movie you want recapped? Drop it in the comments below. This is DX Recaps. See you in the next one.